Good evening, Groove here, and welcome back to 7 Days to Die. This is the Gameplay Basic series, and most likely one of the last episodes of the series, as Alpha 20 is coming out. This weekend is the streamer weekend, so most likely Experimental will be out on Monday. And if Experimental is out on Monday, they generally give about a week for Experimental before they push out the live version of it. So we could expect probably the following Monday. Maybe towards the end of the week if there are bugs that they need to work on, but we can only hope that it will be that Monday. So this episode, what we're going to do is quickly run through the changes. It has been a few days off camera where I've done some grinding, done some upgrades to the home base and to the horde base. So I'm going to quickly run through those changes through the home and then take you out to the horde base, have a quick look at that. Then we're going to go and do a few trader quests. With the XP increase that we put on last episode, should hopefully get a few levels and should get enough loot that we can get a bicycle, which will just make traveling around so much easier. And then get into electricity, so electrical traps. We're not going to get gun turrets, at least for another couple of days, but if we can get some electric fences going, if we could maybe buy a blade trap, put that down in the horde base and see how it goes. But I think they're the two things I want to focus on, the vehicles and electricity. So just leveling up as quick as possible, so that will mainly entail trader quests because you get a lot of XP and loot at the same time. And that's probably going to be it for this episode. So sit back, relax, and let's jump into it. So here we are, day 18. Put a few of these staircases up just to get up a bit easier. Put some of the wooden bars around here, so that's the design that we'd be looking at. That way, if zombies are down there, you can very easily stand down here, stand up here and shoot down at them. The whole half block things, I'm not a big fan of, so I've just put these wooden plates here just to level it out. You can walk over the gap, but aesthetically I just don't like the look of it, so I'll just fill them up. My last game that I did have, I had a wall like this, and I ended up spending a bit of time and a lot of durability on my steel pickaxe, and I just chopped them out. I didn't like them, so that's just me. When you've got time, you can do whatever you like, but that's what I did. Yeah, so it looks better than the half blocks, in my opinion. It sort of fills it out a bit more. I haven't done any more in here. I just took a little bit more clay out. I needed more cobblestone. I didn't want to take much more out of there, so I actually made another mine over here. Cover that stuff in a second. I just dug out the grave that was here. I didn't loot that for some reason. Baseball bat. Pick that. So that's all been dug out. Put a staircase in because I had a few spare. The grass, as we saw, putting blocks down on grass, you can sometimes have issues by blocks going on top of it. Generally not so much with grass, but the plants, the flowers and whatnot, just I find it easier with a permanent base like this just to punch them all out. It's pretty quick. It doesn't take too long. That was maybe a couple of minutes. So that's where the door is over there. And what I did, because it is the jail door, zombies, I had a wandering horde come past here and they could see in. I thought, well, I don't want to be over here doing some stuff later in the game and it attracts some zombies that I'm not particularly interested in fighting at the time. I've just put up some half block walls so it doesn't take up too much room and also breaks the line of sight for the zombies. These things, the crypts here are half blocks as well, so I couldn't go all the way, but it's just another way of getting past the wall. But I can still get out easily. But yeah, with the flaming torch on this side of the wall, the zombies won't be attracted to it as much. Stairs up here. Zombies there. These are the farm blocks. Farm blocks, I can't remember what alpha it was that they brought them in. I think it might have been 17. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think it was around 17. A lot of people didn't really like them. Before that, you had to craft a hoe, and then you would just hoe the ground up, so it would change from this grass texture to there's nothing else like it around here, but like a dark brown kind of texture, like a rich dirt. And then you would put your seeds down there. You could also use the cement mixer, put in rotted flesh and nitrate, I think it was, and you would make like a compost, which you could then put over top of it, and it would put these white spots. That would give you a greater yield on the plants that you grew. Fun Pimp's went away from that, and they use these craftable blocks. Wood, rotten flesh, nitrate, and clay soil. And then you just place it like any other block. The beauty of it is that you can paint the sides, so if you don't like the look of this weathered timber, you can paint it with the paintbrush to be timber or stone wall, the footpath here, whatever that you would paint anything else, you can paint these, so you can kind of blend it in a little bit more. I don't mind them. In here I put the workbench down and I have my forge going. So that's the forge. I like to have a kind of range hood over it. You don't need to, it's purely cosmetic. If you take out one of those blocks, it's just open. I've just smashed out the window. When I get a paintbrush and some paint, I will paint it. But just makes it look a bit more like where you would put a forge, so the heat would dissipate out through here. You can see the top there. I have seen a lot of other people, they'll actually put the campfire on top of it because it makes the campfire look like it's always burning and you're not going to have issues stepping on it. But I just like cosmetically to have this kind of range hood design. But definitely not needed. You can stuff it down in the middle of the room if you like. You can stand on top of it, you're not even going to get hurt. I do have an anvil in there already. You can put the bellows and make bellows, advanced bellow. But you need the schematic to do it. So yeah, with the forge, you have to put material in here, so I'll just grab some. Don't have a great deal. A bit of clay. A small amount of stone. Chuck them into the forge, turn it on, and it will smelt into these slots here. So you can see here I'm putting my clay in and my stone, and the clay and stone are both going up here. You put sand and broken glass in, and that will get you the sand here. Lead that you can mine, brass you get from breaking down things like doorknobs, faucets, car radiators. You can put an entire radiator in. Got any? Probably melt, scrap them all. I don't have any. You can put the jukes in there if you've got money for days and you need brass for bullets. You can throw jukes in there and they melt down into brass. So here's your resources if you want to pull any of it out. Now, if you have a land clan block down and you go to pick it up, make sure you empty it first, because as soon as you pick it up, you lose everything that's in here. Even if you put the forge straight back down, it's empty. It can be really bad if you've got 20,000 stone in there and a whole bunch of iron and stuff like that. But there is a limit on the total number of resources. I just did a quick Google search then. There are some people saying it's about 30,000 of each type is the maximum. So if you had 30,000 clay, you could get another 30,000 brass and so on. Once it hits that limit, if it is 30,000, it'll just stop accumulating. So yeah, just make sure that you've emptied it out before you move it. Resources, building. These are all your building materials, obviously, by the name of it. Brick is, I think, 1200 health, and then you upgrade that straight from brick to cement, and then reinforced cement. Glass blocks should build you different windows. It is one of these collection ones, so there are a lot of other glass things in there that you can craft by holding down the R key. Rebar frames are the rebar version of your wooden blocks. When you put a rebar frame down, you upgrade it with cement and it goes straight into reinforced concrete. So you bypass the concrete stage and go straight into reinforced. It is more efficient resource-wise. You're not using as much cement to craft them that way as you would by crafting flagstone, upgrading to cobblestone, upgrading to concrete, then upgrading to reinforced concrete, putting down a brick block and then upgrading that to concrete and then reinforced. It's cheaper to do it this way, but you have to craft these rebar frames, so it involves iron as well. So that's your bulletproof glass block. It does take quite a few different types of material. It's also one of the collection blocks that you can craft a bunch of different shapes with. It does require a crucible, which crucibles you have to craft, loot or buy. Advanced engineering with a crucible schematic, buy it at a trader, or I don't recall having looted one before, but probably possible. Bulletproof glass is good in that it has 3000 health. You can see through it, but it has, like the backpack down here, it's got the square grid on it. And they did change it, I think it was the last alpha. It now has a smear texture over it, so it just looks dirty and it's not very clear. It used to be a lot clearer. Now it's not rightly pleasant to look at. And it does require another one of these blocks to repair it from memory, so have to keep a bunch of those spare. 3000 health, it's a little bit more than reinforced concrete, but having to keep a bunch of these on you to repair, I don't really like it myself. Iron arrow slits, it's just a block with a wedge cut into it so you can see through it. Iron bars, iron frames. So metal iron blocks used to be a block that you would upgrade from, I think it was wood, reinforced wood, metal. You could bypass that with the flagstone cobblestone. I got rid of that sometime after Alpha 15, 16, somewhere around there. Now they're more especially crafted. You don't have to go through metal to get to concrete. And they've just put all the metal stuff into here now. Metal trussing I-beam one, it has a bunch of other material, a bunch of other furniture pieces that you can put in there. Ammo and weapons, yeah, it's your buckshot for your, what's the name, blunderbuss. Bullet casings you use for all your other gun weapons, and bullet tips, arrowheads. To craft the iron and the steel arrows, you have to have the arrowheads, and then you make the arrow with it. Nails for your nail gun if you're using that to shoot for some reason. Iron darts are from the electrical traps, the dart. It's basically a block, and when it's powered, you put a pressure plate in front of it or somewhere in front of it. When a zombie steps on it, it'll just shoot these darts out. So that's what that looks like there. And whichever way it's facing with these holes is where the darts come out. Rocket casings, rocket tips. Business glass, that's just your normal glass. There's a bunch, sorry, these are the trap ones. I don't think I've ever actually crafted them. Just craft one for the sake of it. And you got some cooking stuff here as well. That's your pane of glass. Hold the arcade down. Doesn't actually have, because it's a trap. You can see how clean it is. Yeah, so it breaks. That's on top of one of the really high skyscraper buildings. It's got a helipad on top of it. And I remember walking over the glass there and it breaking and falling through the floor, fighting off some zombies when it happened. But yeah, other windows you can actually walk on top of them. Those windows, if they were crafted anymore. don't have the materials to craft it. That broken glass, I can chuck that in there. 10 I'm going to keep for the cement when we eventually get to that. And everything has a time, so you can see that takes 5 seconds. That takes 4 seconds. The longest thing to melt down is brass. That takes a long time. If you get a whole radiator, it can stack up to 5. You put 5 radiators in there, it's something like 3 minutes to melt one of them down. One of them now. And that's just right click and hold and drag down, just halves the stack. But that one you can go to shape menu. These are all the shapes, so that one there, that looks like that up there. These windows are really dirty, you can't see through them. Ones I would generally use would be the shower glass block. Shower, that's more frosted. Can't remember which one. I'll put down the shower one. But that one, it's almost completely transparent. You can just catch it with a light. You can see it on. Just be very careful. Broken glass does have a use feature. If you use it, you suicide. You eat the glass and a second later you're dead on the ground. Recipes actually use it to craft scopes. There you go. Things that I'm going to be melting down, I generally just leave in here. Next time I come by, I chuck them in there. Now, baseball bat, 1532. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the mod slots. It's only worth 17 to sell. That being level 3, I have more mod slots in it than that. I will just on. That's my club. That's the baseball bat. You get that barbed wire mod on there, where it's barbed wire around. Memories of Lucille. Less power attack, more block. Less stamina cost, more attacks per minute, but much less durability. I don't have any other mods to put on it anyway. I think I'll chuck the SL. Okay. Day 19 is the next trader reset. That's the house done. Run over to the Horde Base. I did plant all the seeds I got from chopping all those trees down. I made a little wood farm over here. It is not someplace you want to go to when it's still growing, because you will not see anything in there. So, yeah. Forest of Fengorn, or I think of any other, that Shang-Chi movie. I don't know what that forest was called, but it had a name. Impenetrable. You're in there chopping down a tree and the zombie comes, you got no idea. So, off to the Horde Base. Even though you can't see anything here, the zombies know exactly where you are if they're in there with you. Because the trees don't affect them. Keep running short on stamina. Food and water are very low. Alright, before we go looting, I have to run back and get some food and drink. So I have put another layer on the base. So before the next Horde night I need to take out another block, maybe 2. But I'll leave that there at least for another layer, and then I'll get rid of it. So we do have the 3 wide here, so if we do put blade traps in there, not super worried about it now because with Alpha 20 coming out, that's probably not going to be a thing. So this here is the roof. When you're in here, zombies won't be able to see you. You can't see them, even if you're crouching. So they can't see through the hatches, and these blocks here are blocking their sight. You can pop that up and then shoot out. Did just get a little bit of an FPS drop, so that could be a wandering horde. We fill that hole in too one day. Where's your map over there to dig up? I think it's a traded quest. You1 bird supply, yep, it's traded quest. So once we go through this, we'll go over, get some food and water, go do that trader quest, hand it in, grab another one. Yeah, the purpose of this is you can stand in here, be protected from the vultures, even the radiated ones when they come. Leave that up. Yeah, attack the zombies while they're down here when the vultures come, or the ranged zombies come. You can just run back here, get out of the line of sight, the range, like the cop zombies, and avoid the vultures, and then come down here, take them out when they're nice and close. So that one, you'd upgrade it to cobblestone. You do want the roof to be fairly solid, because once you start getting a lot of vultures, they will attack down. Just like zombies, when they go underground, they attack the dirt to get through it. The vultures will get on top of here, and they'll attack down till they get through. And the base in here hasn't changed. It's one lockbox. Attack down there. This is actually going to get to the point where you're not going to even use it anymore. You'll spend most of your time up here, particularly once you start getting some powerful guns. It'll be just a case of keeping them out of this first layer. And particularly once you start getting electrical traps, if you get a gun turret on each corner, when you start getting to the point of having 2 SMGs or 2 shotgun turrets, one pointing down, standing over here, pointing down that way, one that way, same on every corner, your base basically becomes AFK, as long as you've got the bullets to keep them fully armed. The zombies just can't get through it. I'm gonna get some food and water and say hello to this chap. Yeah, see you back at the base. Okay, food and water should be good. I drank the purified water in just a water jar. That me out quite easily. Right, go do that trader quest. Buried supply. You're going to swing you past an area that I was at a couple of days ago. I was doing another quest later at night, or early in the morning. Came to this corner over here. And just as I was coming around here, I saw a black wolf just on the other side of the ridge line there. But, oh, okay. Now, yeah, I can probably take him out. I got to just before the tire, and I saw a big lump just here. I'm like, oh, and it was a bear. Okay, not happy. Ran around the back over there, because the bear was coming down this way. Made this wooden box. I just stood up here and just shot down at him. For some reason the bear didn't attack. So the wolf, he came up here and he attacked this bottom block here. He almost got it down to normal wood. And then he ran off and he just never came back. They normally go away a certain distance and then they come back. But that one didn't. Maybe he got lost. The bear though, I had to come over here and shoot him with a bow because he was right over near that sand pile, just to the left of the tree there. And I ran back up here. go. Keep an eye out for a wandering horde. Yeah, the bear, he ran over here and stood right here with his head inside the block. I couldn't attack him, but he didn't attack it. Just stood there. Made a lot of noise, and I shot him with the blunderbuss, the sawed-off shotgun, took at close range, I don't know, 4 or 5 double shots of this, and a couple of shots of that, and then he died. And I got lots of meat. So things like that, if I use them, I'll just leave them there. There's no point taking them down for the minute amount of resources. But you could be travelling through here and you make use of them again. Yeah, there was a buried treasure quest over here. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, the circle was around here. And as I dug it up, it eventually ended up being over here. There it is. Nothing in it. But yeah, it does move around. Okay, so that's nitrate. And you can dig down there, pick more of it. You'll probably find the call it a worm or the snake. It snakes down maybe 10 blocks or so. It can change direction. It could form a bowl of it. Really like pickles. And you can see my XP bar down the bottom. Clearly. One zombie after this. Here's a big boy. Alright, one more point in that. Either one more, or if I buy some intellect glasses, that'll give me that 1 point, and the next one can go into electrician. The trader did have a pair of intellect glasses as well. Take your time going down hills, because if you fall too far, brain or a break. It's a swimming pool house. Got some water jars there. You can identify on the map what things are. The big grey ones are stones. That's dirt patches through there. They're the big boulders that look like that. Okay, so here's our circle. Now, there is some debate, not really debate. Some people will tell you that if you go to a particular corner, I think it might be the northwestern corner, and dig down, you'll most likely find it straight away. There was also another one in previous alphas, before they brought this circle in. You would just get into the area and it would change yellow to start flashing, like that. And you would put down a wooden frame, you'd go across, put a wooden frame, you go the angles of the compass and find the maximum dimensions of the area, and then go directly in the center of it. I think personally it's just a matter of chance. It'll be anywhere. Would have laughed somewhat if it had been there. And it may not have been northwest, it might have been northeast or something. For me, I just go straight to the middle. Not because it's there, but I can go down into it. Oh. Okay. I'd say the next thing you need to do is make sure you've got a way out. As you start, I think it's 10 blocks. When you're 10 blocks in, the circle reduces. The circle can also move a couple of blocks to the side. So where the circle was originally, this was the northwest corner. It's now 1 block in. Wherever the circle starts might not be where it finishes. As it shrinks, it could move to any direction. I did have one in my last game. It was right on the side of the road, but the circle was like a highway kind of road. The circle was actually fully on the road. So I went to the side of the road, I dug down through the softer sand and dirt and started tunneling my way under. Once I got a block or two in, it actually moved over. I didn't know it at the time, but when I finally found the treasure, it was actually on the side. I'd gone down, gone under the road, and then moved forward again. And then I had to come back over, and I found it, I think it was about 2 blocks outside of the road. So it had shifted over enough that I didn't even need to dig into the road, which is really good because tarmac is 2,000 health. When you do loot this, nothing happens until you pick up the chest that's in there. When you do pick up the chest, you're going to get about 4 zombies are going to spawn around you. That's not the same with the treasure maps. When you do a treasure map, you don't get the zombies. But the treasure maps, the chest is generally locked, so you got to lockpick it or you got to bust your way in. The trader ones aren't. So you can loot everything in here, but as soon as you pick up that, zombies. Now, you don't have to fight the zombies, but it is free XP. That was only 3. Possibly because I'm still low game stage. 45. Would have thought 4. But it does get to 4 at some point. When you're traveling through wilderness like this, try not to use all your stamina up because you might come over a ridge and there's a wolf. Just the normal grey wolf, not the black dire wolves. And in the snow you've got the hunting cats. In the desert you've got a fox, or I don't think they're an actual fox, but they're a smaller coyote. We'll say coyote. This is not, yeah, why it's not looking familiar. Oh, hello. Dogs are man's best friend, but zombie dogs hate everyone. Bird's nest. A vulture somewhere. See the torch. Torches, lanterns, and the battery dolphin style torch always indicate an alternate route in. Yeah, you can see through the water at that angle. Hang around there and you lose visibility. Get some wood there. Zombies are going to bust out of there. Roll a zombie. This is a big house. It does have a nice wall around it. I'm going to be getting rid of the blunderbuss. Okay, there's your weakness. There's a wolf. Oh no, it's a pig. Go get some meat off. Pigs are passive until you attack them. Once you attack them, they charge you. Better to get nice and close if you're using a shotgun. Nice and close and go. Bushcrew is the term you should always use when shooting a pig in the face with a shotgun. Yeah, this might not be too bad a base. $1,200, that's brick. Outside of the head. We have garage upstairs area. Yeah, I don't recall having looted this place. So it would be a good, more permanent home. Yeah, those trap blocks. They use them as fake ceiling, so the zombies will fall through them. Once you've got the materials to actually fix this up, so cobblestone at the very least, and then upgrade to concrete. Pop it through there. Jacket. Ooh, nice range. I have noticed the POIs have improved a lot in the last couple of hours. You get little things like this. Originally, this would have just been a bathtub in the corner and with a shower head on it. Now they're using half blocks. So a lot of the houses now, which I don't really like the half blocks, as I mentioned before, using 2 layers of half blocks on either side allows them to do things like this, the little recessed niche. Putting on these windows here just closes it a bit. This changes. And fiber something. Heat jukes. Not that worried. I'll scrap it for now. Green boots. And I was going to go do that house because I like to do things in order. I do have a little friend out here. This is that where the ground joins up to a block. I don't like it. And when you're putting down the farm blocks, you get that. It looks horrible. In my eye, anyway. So I put down a plate like what they've done here. Put plates down along here. Just neatens it all up. Collapse. You can stay up there. At some point I've picked up a challenge. Now these challenges, they generally, from my experience anyway, wherever you read them is the area that it will spawn. So probably best to take them all back to your house when you drew a bunch of them and read them there, because they'll be the closest to you. If you're way out looting somewhere and you read it, it's going to be somewhere around that particular area. Relay schematic. I'm not here specifically for this, but I don't remember the POI, so. We did manage to concussion, lowered, painkillers, pick them up, and got infection again. Now this place definitely doesn't look familiar. Sounds like this is the door now. They must have come from upstairs. Another wrench. That is a radiator. Let's put a radiator. And we're probably up here. Oh, what's it called? Red eyes. Beautiful. Infection comes in, infection goes out. That's there just to make noise. Okay. Pull up again. Okay, so they're in the house now. That's an indicator that one of these blocks is going to collapse. Okay, bullets. Gloves. Not too bad. Noise. Very good if you're going at stealth kills. Whole bunch of parts. Sledgehammer, bow, spear, rocket launcher, stun back. Carry them all. Need them. Not using leather armor, but that's 200. Bone meal. 132, definitely worth taking. Worried about bones, that nitrate can go 2 beans. Generally don't make coffee. That's really good if you're going in for a night of mining. Lasts for 6 minutes. Stamina regens 25%, and it increases your water, which allows you to pick up your pickaxe and go a bit longer. And should probably keep them. That's 8. Scrap that. Yeah. Let's get back into the house. I'll see you back at the house.
Many thanks. You've proved to be very resourceful.
So I already know that.
Here's your
worth 100 vitamins. Feel fatigue. This one did dysentery. Yeah, we're not going to use them anyway. Alright, take that, sell it. Okay. That. Oh. I have to check if that's better than what I've got. You would normally keep these and use them to craft bows, but I'm not using bows, so sell them. Pistols. Yeah, I sell everything really. Any of those. Restocks tomorrow, so nerdy glasses, that's intellect one. Buy that. Shazzy.
I thank you, kind sir.
That's just Fortitude 1, so that's not too bad a spot. And it also gives you XP. Yeah, 10% XP gain. Faster crafting, plus your intellect 1. So with that 1 point, now I craft that, because it gives me a temporary point here. Okay, so we can make electric fences, we can make blade traps, and we're getting 20% XP from the electric trap kills. Forge recipes are cheaper, forge steel, and devices are cheaper. Blade traps. Forge steel is a big one. To make forge steel, you also need a crucible. Check and see if he's got crucibles here. Fence posts, forged iron. I've got a couple of, not a lot though.
If we ain't got what you're looking for, we can get it.
Alright, so buried supplies, they're all still tier 1. Southeast. I'll be going south-ish. They're all nice and close except for that one.
No matter what, I'm grateful for everything you've done.
Okay, so I'm going to call that episode there. Did only one trader quest, did a little bit of looting, found a POI that I hadn't seen before. Thought I'd seen all of them, but there you go. I just wandered around it without noticing it for the last couple of years. New POI, Trader Quest. Got another one queued up, ready to go, nice and local for the next episode. We're going to head back to the house now, drop off this stuff, do a little bit of mining, just upgrade the Horde base to cobblestone. I want to get in one more Horde night before Alpha 20, so depending on when it launches, if we haven't had the Horde night by then, there are some console codes that you can type in, things that enable creative menu, enable you to fly, spawn in zombies, and another one enables you to change the day and time. So we can actually change the day to be Horde night and set the time to 5 minutes before Horde night starts. So I'm going to get that. If I don't have the Horde night by Alpha 20 being released, then I'll just queue it up, make it a Horde night, make that the final episode of this particular series, just so we can start off the Alpha 20 series that'll come after that, because that looks like it's going to be a very enjoyable update. So I'm going to leave this episode here. I do hope that you enjoyed it. I hope the videos are getting a bit nicer in terms of the audio and the video. Using DaVinci Resolute, doing some editing for the videos. That's been a bit of a learning curve, which has been cool. Forgot to mention that my new microphone arrived today. I went with the Elgato Wave 3. Pop that into screen now. So I have it on a boom, got a pop filter. I have the isolator on there as well. It does sound okay at the moment, so I'll have a bit of a tinker with it. See how we can go. I don't know if I will be able to make my voice sound any better than what it is, but we'll see what we can do. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. I'll see you in the next one.